r/ProRevenge. I turned off a radio station. Story by Tim1701. Enjoy. In the 90s I was a technical operator for a radio station. Long story short, I made production elements for them and adverts on top of my other duties. New management came in and decided to only pay me for the tech op shifts I had done and nothing for the production. First month he was there I had invoiced for a little over £3,000 and received a £960 check. I ran the overnights, so when midnight came I moved all my production into a hidden folder in System 32, shut down the servers, threw the breakers and left. I got a phone call in the morning and was asked to come in for a meeting as I'd left them up the creek. I'd made pretty much 70 to 80% of all the adverts and production stingers. Idents, montages. The new boss was an ass. He told me I'd damage the product, which I just laughed at as before he came in it was a great 80s station and he'd turned it into a top 40 station you could find up and down the dial. We'll call him Jay. I'd also found out that the sales staff were charging customers £200 for advert production. They were on 10% commission and I was getting £40 for each advert and they pocketed the rest on top of their commission. Bear in mind the rest of the outsourced ads cost £150 to £200. In the meeting I laid out my demands. I can restore everything. But I don't only want the money you owe me from the past month, I want the money from the previous adverts your sales staff has pocketed from my work. They essentially made £160 extra from each advert on top of their commission, around £300 to £400 a pop. Jay, there's no way we can do that. Well, there's no way I can restore the adverts. Jay, looking at pieces of paper on his desk. We can give you an extra £200 a month. I want the whole amount. Handed him an invoice that totaled a little over £16,000. Jay, color now drained from his face. Jay, pause for dramatic effect. You honor that invoice or you will have to recreate or outsource all of the production. Jay, okay, let me see what I can do. I'll sort something out for your next invoice date. Jay, another pause. If I don't walk out of here with the money today you don't get them back. Jay, as soon as you restore them I'll see what I can do. Jay, long drawn out dramatic pause. I will have no guarantees and I'm not stupid. A bank transfer today and we can sort that out right here and now. Jay then phones the head office and within the hour I had every penny of it in my account. His face was a picture when he followed me to the server to watch me just move the files over from one folder to the other. Yes, they were right under your nose. Jay, through gritted teeth, you'd best get home and get some sleep. No, good luck tonight. Within 5 hours I was in Spain where I stayed for 4 weeks. When I got back I did hear through the grapevine that the sales team were out for blood. Jay bollocked and blamed them for me being ripped off and they all lost their commission for 3 months and just got basic pay to make up for the loss. I'm pretty sure the company made more than enough back from that to pay for my hostage negotiation. I used some of what was left to buy a laptop and started DJing around town for a few years. Back then it was a rare sight and used to get nerdy types on a night out just hanging around the booze to see what I was doing with a computer in a pub. My friend used to say I looked like I was doing my homework. r/ProRevenge. Not my revenge, but my professor against cheaters. Story by Mwxh. Enjoy. I took the final for an engineering class this morning. Usually 1 or 2 people will go to the bathroom during class, however for totally unknown reasons, about half of the class needed to use the restroom during the exam. Obviously a vast majority of them were looking up the answers on their phones. This irritated me but I just stayed focused and barely finished since it was a hard exam. I remembered that there was one particular problem that was only barely related to the stuff we went over in class where part A was fairly easy but I had no idea how to do part B. I didn't fret over it too much though, since that part was only 5 points out of 100. Well, our professor, who is on the older side and I would have thought was somewhat ignorant of technology, sent us an email just now explaining his diabolical plan to catch cheaters. Many of the students in this class use Chegg, a website that has answers to lots of homework questions if you're not familiar. To be fair, I have an account too, though I only used it for studying and checking homework solutions. Anyway, he explained that he was tired of people going to the bathroom and looking up answers on their phones, so he made the question I mentioned earlier as a trap. He purposely made Part B impossible to solve, and about a month before the final, he got a TA with a Chegg account to ask the exact question, which was distinctly worded to be unique. He then created his own Chegg account and answered the question with a bullshit solution that seems right at first glance but is actually fundamentally flawed and very unlikely that someone would make the same assumptions and mistakes independently. He said that out of 99 exams, 14 of them fell for the trap, and that everyone who had his wrong solution on their exam was given a 0 and reported to the university for violating the academic honor pledge they signed on the front. He also sent an email to all the other professors in our department giving them the list of cheaters. r/ProRevenge. Redditor stalked me and claimed I was Illuminati and that he'd be the man to stop me. Plot twist, he wasn't. Story by SpicyTeaBoi. Enjoy! So, a little while ago I found a small sub called a cult. It was just a bunch of people with loads of interesting little beliefs on how the world works. I thought I'd ask a question, specifically why they'd worship the devil if they believed he actually existed. My logic being that the devil is typically a bad dude, so you wouldn't want to meet him at the pub, really, would you? I wasn't going in with any big arguments but more a general curiosity. Anyway, around that time I'm messaged by this random Redditor. He sent me a creepy video that was cursed. I laughed and sent him on his way. However, he was insistent and claimed that I was a member of some sort of occult Illuminati-esque organization, and one which he would reveal to the world. I laughed it off and ignored him. For 2 or 3 weeks after, every post or comment I made had him respond to it with some variation of "This guy is stalker, watch out," ironic of course, since he's stalking me. Thankfully some kind Redditors have told me that he's been doing this to them as well and revealed that he has an alt. Look carefully in the comments for someone with an odd comment style and you've found him. Anyway, he'd been at it ever since. A few hours before I originally posted this to Let's Not Meet, he sent me a private message, reaffirming his desire to bring me to justice. So, I had enough. I sent him a picture of a hand doing that weird circle thing. It's meant to be a meme or a joke. It annoyed him and he ranted a bit at me, which was fun for me. But I had a greater purpose. I'd used a link shortener on the image which logged the IP address of whoever clicks it and various tidbits of info therein. I was still considering what to do with this when he commented on a post I made in Creepy that featured an image of some of his comments using one of his alts. I decided to send the same image to his alt and for some reason, he clicked it. An idiot he is. Now I had the log of both IPs along with real-world locations. I won't reveal it here because I'm not a bastard. Suffice to say, they're the same. So I've proven that he has an alt. What then though? Well, firstly I reported every comment he made to the mods of each subreddit, and then as a flourish I reported him directly to Reddit admins with proof of his alts and IP address conveniently included. What's left though? Well, turns out the IP logger led me to some extra information about the individual, nothing I'll share, but the most important is the direct email of his internet provider, specifically the abuse department. I understand that this isn't exactly what they deal with, but I was sure an email with his IP, time of abuse and his location sent to the people that control his internet would be at the least worrying for him. Anyway, around the time I originally posted this he sent me a message and begged me to take this down, that he would stop. Well, nah. I had enough. I told him it had been done. To make matters better, the ever-curious Redditors of the world decided to explore my profile to find every comment he made on my posts and comments. Every post he had was downvoted into oblivion and he himself had actually become stalked legitimately. To make a long story short, every account he had is now deleted. I've heard nothing of him since and frankly I'm a bit lonely. I miss my little creepo. You are an absolute legend for making it to the end. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button. And if you can't get enough, consider subscribing. See you around.